Have you ever been told you need to just pick a lane and stick to it? Maybe you have a closet full of half-finished projects, a guitar you bought 3 years ago, a stack of books on philosophy, a coding course you started but never finished, and a sudden burning desire to learn how to make your own sourdough bread. And every time you switch from one passion to the next, you feel a familiar pang of guilt. You think, what is wrong with me? Why can't I just commit to one thing like everyone else? Society loves to throw around the phrase, jack of all trades, master of none. They use it as an insult, a warning that if you don't specialize, you will be left behind. But what if I told you that your inability to pick just one interest isn't a character flaw? What if it is actually one of the most powerful cognitive advantages you can have in the 21st century? If you constantly bounce between unrelated hobbies, skills, and obsessions, you don't have an attention problem. You have what is called a pattern weaver mind. And by the end of this video, you are going to understand exactly why the future belongs to you and how to stop fighting your own brain. Let's talk about the cult of the specialist. For the last 100 years, our education and career systems have been designed for the industrial age. The goal was simple. Find a highly specific task, learn how to do it better than anyone else, and do it for 40 years. In a factory line, you don't want the person putting the wheels on the car to suddenly get creative and start painting the doors. You want them to specialize, but we don't live in the industrial age anymore. We live in an era of unprecedented complexity and rapid change. Artificial intelligence and automation are incredibly good at specialized, repetitive tasks. If a job requires deep, narrow knowledge in one highly structured domain, a machine will eventually do it better. So what can't machines do? They can't think laterally. They can't take a concept from biology, apply it to software design, and use it to solve a problem in economics. But a pattern weaver can. A pattern weaver is someone whose brain is hungry for diverse inputs. When you dive into a new interest, you aren't just messing around. Your brain is aggressively hunting for mental models. You might spend 3 months obsessed with learning a new language, then drop it completely to start building wooden furniture. To the outside world, this looks like quitting. It looks like a lack of discipline. But internally, a profound process is happening. You are building a massive interconnected web of frameworks. Let's look at one of the most famous pattern weavers in modern history, Steve Jobs. When Jobs dropped out of college, he stopped taking required classes and started dropping in on things that simply interested him. One of those was a calligraphy class. He learned about serif and sans serif typefaces, about the space between different letter combinations. It had absolutely no practical application for his life at the time. 10 years later, when Apple was designing the first Macintosh computer, it all came back to him. He wove the pattern of calligraphy into the world of computing, creating the first computer with beautiful typography. If he had been a narrow specialist focused only on circuit boards, our digital world would look entirely different today. Innovation almost never happens deep inside a single silo. It happens at the intersections. It happens when someone takes a tool from field A and applies it to a problem in field B. When you learn about psychology and then study graphic design and then get interested in behavioral economics, you are creating an intersection that is entirely unique to you. A specialist might be in the top 1% of graphic designers, but you might be the only person in the world who sits at the exact intersection of those 3 specific fields. That makes you irreplaceable. So why do we feel so much guilt when we lose interest in a hobby? It's because we have a fundamentally flawed definition of what it means to finish something. We think that if we buy a guitar, we are obligated to become a master guitarist. And if we stop playing after 6 months, we failed. But the pattern weaver doesn't need to master the guitar. The pattern weaver just needed to understand how music works. You needed to feel the struggle of building calluses, the logic of chord progressions, the rhythm of a strumming pattern. Once your brain extracted the underlying mental model of that experience, your curiosity was satisfied. The mission was accomplished. You didn't quit. You got what you came for, and you moved on to the next data point. This continuous cycle of being a beginner is actually incredible for your brain. Every time you start a completely new skill, you force your brain to build new neural pathways. You maintain a high level of neuroplasticity. While specialists often become rigid in their thinking, trapped by the curse of knowledge, pattern weavers remain highly adaptable. In a world where entire industries can be wiped out or transformed overnight, adaptability is the ultimate survival skill. But to actually harness this superpower, you have to make a shift in how you operate. You have to stop fighting your nature and start leaning into it. First, you need to reframe your identity. Stop calling yourself a dabbler or a quitter. Start calling yourself a synthesizer, a generalist, or an explorer. Language shapes reality, and the moment you remove the shame from your curiosity, you free up massive amounts of mental energy. Second, look for the threads. Take out a piece of paper and write down all the random interests, jobs, and hobbies you've had over the last 5 years. Now look for the invisible threads connecting them. How does your interest in fitness connect to your interest in video editing? How does your brief obsession with gardening relate to your knowledge of personal finance? Force your brain to find the overlaps. This is how you train your pattern weaver mind to be an active tool rather than a passive trait. Third, build a system to capture your ideas. Because your mind is constantly jumping between domains, you are going to have ideas that seem crazy at first. A thought will strike you in the shower that connects 2 entirely unrelated things. Write it down, keep a master notebook or a digital document. Over time, you will start to see the grand architecture of your own mind. The world doesn't need more people who stay in their lane. It needs bridge builders. It needs people who can translate between the specialists. The programmers need someone who understands human psychology. The artists need someone who understands business mechanics. You are the glue that holds complex projects together. So the next time you feel the urge to dive into a completely new, seemingly random topic, don't suppress it. Follow it. Let your curiosity lead the way. Trust that your brain knows exactly what it is doing and that every new interest is just another thread in the beautiful, complex pattern you are weaving. If you found this video helpful and want to learn more about how to optimize your unique brain, make sure to subscribe to the channel.